Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 24th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. There's the state of California. I'm circling to the top right. Hawaiian Islands, bottom left. There is a system across the Pacific Ocean here, moving towards the Pacific Northwest. You can see we're actually getting some mid-level and high-level moisture. There's some lenticular cloud activity, so if you have a view of the Sierras out there, you happen to be close by, get out there and send me a picture there on Blue Sky, which, by the way, I'm using Blue Sky now versus X. I'm taking a break a bit here. I'm not into paying $17 a month to try to get the word out. And really, a lot of it is just political bantering back and forth. And there's a lot of ads I have to sift through. So I'm just trying something new. I'm not deleting my account on X. I am Seattle Weather Guy on X. And just kind of waiting to see what happens after this election cycle and whatnot to see if it's worth to go back to it. But Blue Sky is quite nice. You can download that for free on your Google Play Store. Now, taking a look, you can see the lenticular cloud activity, as I mentioned, right here across central and southern Sierra Nevada. The storm out over the Pacific Ocean. We've got Hurricane Christy down here to the bottom. I'll show you a little bit more on that here in a moment. But we've got a big pattern change that is incoming here, folks. It's going to bring some gusty winds, some cold temperatures, and potential mountain snow, and a bit of precipitation with it as well. We're going to dive into that as we go through the video this morning. But you can see National Weather Service Los Angeles already calling attention to Sunday through Tuesday. Look at some of these northwest, north gusts, 40 to 60 miles per hour. Some higher gusts are possible. Strongest winds on Monday, probably starting Sunday night. And I'll show you some of that here in a moment, but we're going to be paying much more attention to this as we get a little bit closer. Today's still only Thursday, so we're going to just continue to monitor that for now. But the confidence for the strong winds is pretty high, and I'll show you that here in the European model. We're going through Thursday here, and not too big of a deal in the meantime. We do bring some southerly winds to extreme northwest portions of California, some gusty winds for the Oregon coast. Then we scroll on in through the weekend. Here we go on in towards Sunday evening, and you'll see the winds start to pick up down the coastline here. The winds start to get a bit stronger here out of the west across some of the mountainous areas. As we go through the day Monday, though, look at the winds really pick up across some of the transverse range, peninsular range. The strong north wind starts rolling down across portions of Nevada. Look at this powerful northwest wind across some of Southern California also as we go on in through Monday evening. And that continues on in through Tuesday as well. And that's what we're going to be watching here. You know, when the high resolution models get into range, we'll start checking out some individual locations and some of the stronger gusts that will be accompanying this very cold air mass that's set up across some of the southwest USA. And we're talking about potential for some snowfall across some of the Sierra Nevada. This is ending October 29th, 5 a.m. So I'll show you some of that here in a moment on the weather models. But this is the system out over the Pacific Ocean. It's got a subtropical tap, but it's largely missing the state of California. And also Hurricane Christy tries to spread some moisture back to Southern California. But with this inslider system, it's not really grabbing too much of it. I'll show you the precipitation amounts here in a moment. And then we scroll up into the future a little bit more here. And we're going to continue with some cooler than normal air masses across a lot of the west coast as we go on into early November. Now, taking a look at Hurricane Christy, major hurricane, probably coming to an end sometime tomorrow night and probably becoming a hurricane, downgrading from a hurricane towards a tropical storm as we go through this weekend coming up here. You can see this is not a threat to the southwest USA at this point. And if I put that into motion, here we go. There's Hurricane Christy, and then you can see the system moving into the Pacific Northwest. Then the big pattern change comes, and you can see the artificial intelligence model does want to bring some precipitation down across even Southern California, higher terrain here across portions of Nevada, Utah, Arizona. So we're going to be watching that system very closely. Now I'm scrolling backwards, and you can see some of that precipitation just tries to make it towards California here, but we're not picking up much of it with this big trough. It's going to be dropping down the west coast there. And so taking a look at total precipitation in inches, artificial intelligence, last night's model run here, we'll put this into motion. And again, that cold air is going to be arriving here as we go on in through Monday and Tuesday. And you can see some that's going to be in the form of snowfall across the higher terrain, but it's even teasing out some precipitation amounts across the transverse range, peninsular ranges here as well. Better amounts across Northern California, usually the case here. But these inside sliders don't usually have much precipitation to work with, but they are pretty chilly, and it is going to bring some strong winds with it. Now, I wanted to show you something here. I've been showing the European artificial intelligence model for a while now, and there is something to this model because this is the typical integrated forecast system here of the European. And look, as you go out to days 3 and 4, you start to see a lower root mean square error here. So the lower score, the better. Artificial intelligence model, you can see, is performing better than the standard European model. So that is why a lot of meteorologists have been paying close attention to that. So glad to see that. I mean, those are some pretty decent improvements once you got to day 4 and 5 into the forecast. And again, I'm going to show you something else here now also. This is the importance of European ensembles. So this is the ensemble mean, 850 millibars, about 5,000 feet. Put this into motion. You can see the system moving into the Pacific Northwest, and then the pattern change comes, and look at this very cold air aloft. So when we're looking at this, we know that we have really good model ensemble agreement here because all 50 members, this is averaged out. This is not just one cherry-picked model run, the GFS or the Canadian or the European. For example, this is all 50 ensemble members of the European here. So we have pretty good confidence in this big pattern change coming as we go through the early portion of the week upcoming. And this kind of highlights the importance of looking at the ensemble mean. The ensemble mean is in the green, and you can see once you get out past day 4, when you're looking at the ensemble mean, the scores are higher. On this one, the higher is better. And we're looking at the high resolution ensemble. The deterministic right there is in red. And the blue one is just a random perturbed member of the European ensemble. So you can imagine we change those initial conditions. So usually they don't tend to end up as well. Sometimes one of them hits a home run though, but individually saying they're not that good. And of course, the European deterministic, the initial conditions, we best understand them is right there. And then the ensemble mean, the average of all the ensemble members. That's why it's important, especially when looking at an extended forecast, to look at the ensemble mean. Now let's take a look at wave activity here. You can see Hurricane Christy rolling around down there, and actually this is the 12Z European is now starting to run. And let's back this up, and we're going to go back towards yesterday afternoons. I don't think much has changed because you can see the Gulf of Alaska spreading some wave action here all the way down across even Southern California as we go on in through the day Monday. So we're going to have some increased wave action here as we go on in through early next week as well, and then maybe another bump here as we go towards the end of the week. We'll see how that turns out. But looking at the National Blended Models, total snow in inches. I'll put this into motion here, and we're going to speed ahead here until we get to about, what is this, Monday morning. You see some of that snow flying across Oregon, Northern California, Sierra Nevada. We go on into Monday night here, and you can see some pretty decent amounts showing up. Even a skiff of snowfall, maybe an inch or two across some of the transverse range out there. Maybe Big Bear, higher surrounding terrain out there, maybe a little snowfall. Late October, not bad to see. You know, nice little shake up to the weather here. Some decent amounts across Nevada and Utah as well. And, you know, we're only in October, so we'll definitely take it. And some pretty good amounts across the Sierra Nevada. We'll take a look at the GFS, hot off the presses, the 12Z run. This is 2 meter temperature anomaly. When I'm showing that 2 meter, that is basically the temperature at the surface. This is what you and I feel when we were walking out and about across, you know, when you're outside. This is not a loft. And you can see as we go on into the early portion of next week, look at some of these temperatures below average, some substantially below average across the entire Southwest, including Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and of course the entire state of California. And then we bounce back a little, maybe, not really. We kind of stay below average here as we go on into the early portion of November. So glad to see it. We're flipping the switch here and we're bringing some below normal temperatures here across the region. Good to see. And check out some of these daily 2 meter min temperatures. So here we go for Friday, October 25th, tomorrow morning. You can see there's some 40s out there across the valley areas. You know, desert's cooling down this time of year a little bit. And we go Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Check it out. You see that cooling start to happen there for the higher terrain especially. And then look at Tuesday. You're talking about some mid-40s here across the valley areas. And then by the time we get to Wednesday morning, look at this. There's a 39. I don't know if that was Fresno there or not, but this is pretty darn right chill. You're going to need your long underwear in the morning across the San Joaquin, Sacramento Valley areas, the higher terrain, and even the desert areas cooling off quite dramatically here as we go towards the end of the month. So you might have a pretty brisk Halloween coming out there for the trick-or-treaters. And we go on into the early portion of November, and things remain quite cool, and a little bit of moderation starts to happen as we get further out towards election day. Now, taking a look at 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, October 29th through November 2nd. Look at this below normal signal here across much of the West. And what I just showed you, this should be no surprise. Here's the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. Nothing special here. We're not seeing any huge precipitation makers roll in during this time period. But yeah, anyway, we'll continue to watch this pattern change. We're going to start to focus on the winds that are going to be coming in here, and we'll try to fine tune that snowfall forecast. How cold is it going to get? Are we going to get some snow across the higher terrain of Southern California as well? Is there any chance for precipitation? We'll be breaking all that down day by day. But otherwise, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.